The word on the street is that this Bardstown discovery number 11 is the best since discovery number 4, or coincidentally, the last time it had all high-aged Kentucky bourbon blends. And so the hype train is real. There's good reviews coming in every single day and everyone's loving it. But I don't follow reviews, I follow my palate. So I'll let you know if it's that good and if it meets the hype. Also, because 73% of the blend is rumored to be 13-year-old Wild Turkey bourbon, many people are also saying that it's just as good or better than this Wild Turkey 13-year-old. Woo-wee! That's a high bar to clear. So at the end of the video, I'm also going to do a comparison to see if this is actually better than this. Okay. Oh yeah! Welcome to Whiskey. My name is Dave. And let's get one thing out of the way. The 73% blend that's rumored to be Wild Turkey 13-year-old bourbon because it has the same mash bill of 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. A lot of other reviews, I basically present that as a fact. And I want to say it's rumored, it's most likely. I also think it's Wild Turkey bourbon from other sources and from other articles. But one article, this is a good one, from Bourbon Culture lays out a lot of facts on why it might not be Wild Turkey bourbon, or if it is, it might not be what you think, like 13-year-old fully aged at Wild Turkey Distillery. So again, it's just a lot of facts. He's not saying it's for sure not Wild Turkey, but does give a lot of counterpoints. I'll leave a link down in the description. You want to read it after my video. That's why I'm going to say it's rumored, but I also believe it is Wild Turkey bourbon. But I think a lot of people are putting too much emphasis on that 13-year-old, that's 73% blend, and maybe rightly so. But to me, the most interesting part of this blend is actually the 6%, the very small part of it, which is only 6-year-old aged from their own distillery, which is 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. So it's basically a wheated bourbon. But it was fully aged in French oak barrels, not American oak barrels. It has a lot more tannins, a lot more oakiness. So even though it's only 6%, it gives you that young wheat sweetness with a lot of tannins. So I think that might give it a little bit more age influence per se, because it's going to give it a lot more oakiness than the American oak. So to me, that might make the difference between how good this is and how bad this is. So some of the stats on this. It's a blend of 13-year-old, 10-year-old, and 6-year-old Kentucky bourbons. Its proof is 118.1, and its price, I got it for 130. The going rate here in California is about 140, but I know nationally it could be 150 or $200 depending on your area. And as always, too much talking, not enough drinking. Let's get it. Opening ceremonies. Oh yeah. I'm gonna let this open up for a couple of minutes. I'll be right back. So before I fast forward through my experience to get you the results faster, I'm gonna give you my first impressions. First, the nose. Oh, wow. This actually might live up to the hype. And the palate. Oh, wow. That is surprising. I'll see you guys in about 5 seconds. All right, I'm back. And that was a surprising experience. And I'll tell you why. So first, the nose. So I got maple syrup covered fruit right from the beginning. And the fruits were cherries, just mixed berries, and a lot of grape. And then after that, I get a little bit or a hint of powdered sugar, vanilla cream due to its oiliness and just that creamy butterness. But wonderful, sweet berries. It was a great start. Then I got to the palate, and it got even better. So I said first, it kicked it off with sweetness, but with class. It wasn't just sugar or brown sugar or caramel or stuff like that. It was whipped cream type of sweetness, and not just the canned whipped cream. It was the one that was just freshly whipped, that was hand whipped, and it was just perfectly made. It just gives the sweetness, the creaminess, the butteriness, the oiliness. It was just, it brought class to the sweetness, which is actually kind of cool. And then it carried over from those, but I got a lot of powdered sugar sweetness and a lot of grape soda, which I absolutely love in bourbons. And then it brought out the cinnamon spice to round it all out. So the palate was amazing. And then the finish gave it, this is where that French oak influence comes in. I got a lot of the oakiness, but it was a good oakiness. It was just dark, good, sweet oakiness with the grape soda again, covering the mouth, and then the peppery spice going all the way down. So it was a fun experience. It was a great experience. So for my final experience score, well, those are all the good points. I did have to knock it down due to a couple of reasons. A, because it's a 4 grain, even though the wheat is only 1.2%, if you take the 20% times 6%, I thought it was gonna bring enough where it was gonna bring a little bit more complexity to the palate or the finish with some coffee bitterness or some chocolate type of sweetness, but either I didn't get it today or it was just overpowered by the other flavors. And second, the finish was kind of, I don't want to say short, it was medium. But because the palate was so good, I thought when it was going to go down, it's going to linger for a while. But it gives you the oak, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spice, and it just goes poof. And so it's more of a medium length, which does knock it down a notch when you're talking about great bourbons. So the final score, 8.7. Great pour. So even though I nitpicked a little bit, and you know, when you're reviewing or being a judge, I guess in this case you do have to nitpick a little bit, but 8.7, great pour. It's gonna go down fast. I'm gonna drink it very often, and I'm gonna share it with a lot of people because I know they're gonna love it. If you're enjoying this content, please push that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out. Also, I want to thank all my YouTube members because they're giving me all the support and the love to keep making content and keep smiling. So the other factors going into the final rating would be first, the allocation score, which I gave it a 6. It is limited, so once it's gone, it's gone. But right now it's pretty available. So if you want one, especially here in Southern California, you can get one. I know 5 stores right now that has it for about $130 to $140. And they have a lot of bottles. It's not like they have 1 or 2 left. They have a lot of bottles. For staff points, 6.5. Bardstown are getting a lot of notoriety, but it's still gonna sit on my shy self because still, if you're a bourbon fan, you know Bardstown, but if you're a whiskey fan, you might not know. So it might not be on the top shelf, but it's gonna be on the side shelf. But I'll be honest with you, if anyone asks for a recommendation from any of my whiskeys, one of my top 5 is gonna be this one because it's a wonderful pour. So my final rating for the Bardstown Discovery number 11, I had a hard time with this because even if you can get it at $130, $140, that is a lot of money. And there's a lot of good bourbons sitting at around $70, $80, $90. So I fought between a buy and a hold, but because of the wonderful nose and that sweetness of class, my final rating is gonna be a buy. Have one on your shelf. It's delicious. It's a great pour. Obviously, like with anything else, I wish it was cheaper. And we always wish anything was cheaper. It's a good enough value at $130. I think because of the age of the bourbon that it is blended with, especially with being all Kentucky, I think $130 is fair. And the palate lives up to the $130, $140 price point. Now, if it's anything above that, $150, $200, I definitely wouldn't get it at $200. If it's $150, I guess I would say sure, but anything above $150, I would definitely hold off unless you really tried it. Unless you tried it and really liked it. All right, now to the main event, or the second, or the sideshow, depending on how you see it. But here it is, comparison to the Russell's Reserve 13. Let's see if this could beat this bad boy. All right, opening ceremony number 2. Yes. I'm gonna make this pretty short. I'm just gonna fast forward through my comparison and I'm gonna give you a brief conclusion right at the end. I'll see you guys in about 5 seconds. Wow, I'm back. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first went into this battle, I was like, there's no way this even comes close to the Russell's 14. But it's a fun battle. Took me, what, 15 minutes going back and forth, trying to figure out which one. And the winner was due to the fact that I had one note that I just can't resist. It is the Russell's Reserve 13. As I mentioned, Bardstown is fantastic. That grape soda note really carried it and almost beat the Russell's 13. But this has all the notes that a great bourbon has. Caramel, brown sugar, vanilla, cinnamon spice, a little bit of cherry. But it also has that chocolate sweetness in the palate, and then the bitterness in the finish that I just absolutely love. Brings the complexity and the balance that just rounds it all out. Wow, this did not have it. And so this is just a better bourbon by a slight hair. So that was why it won. Also, a lot of people are saying this is a good replacement for this. No. Two totally different. Fruit forward, more dark, oaky, sweet, caramel, brown sugar, chocolate, all that good stuff. This is more grape soda, powdered sugar, a lot more bright if you want to say it. So I definitely wouldn't say it's a good replacement, but you can't find this, which a lot of people can't, at least for a reasonable price. Drinking this in the meantime isn't a bad idea. So let me know in the comments below, have you had the Bardstown 11? Was it good? Did it meet the hype? If you also have the Russell's 13, let me know. Did you do a comparison? And who won? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.